Right, so I'm excited for today. We're here at Grand Canyon National Park and planning on doing a run down to the river and then back up. But I'm excited because I'm going to be doing the Hermit Trail. So this is a non-corridor trail. So at Grand Canyon, the most popular trails by far, they call them the corridor. And it's the Bright Angel Trail, South Kaibab, and North Kaibab trails. So those three trails are the corridor. And I've done those trails, you know, several times by now. But there's also literally hundreds of trails that are non-corridor that are a little harder to get to, way less populated than the main corridor trails, which even those aren't too populated once you get down, you know, into the canyon a little bit more. But this will be my first time exploring the canyon on a non-corridor trail, so I'm really excited, and I really don't know what to expect because I've never done it before. The trail that I'm going to, I think it's about 9.7 miles to the river, and from what I understand, the first 2.5 miles are like really steep, and then, I mean, it doesn't flatten out after that, but it's not quite as steep after those first 2.5 miles or so. So, yeah, we're doing the Hermit Trail down to Hermit Springs, or Hermit Rapids, I think they're called. And it's like mile 97-ish of the Colorado River. And this is actually in the western part of the South Rim. So it's not Grand Canyon West. You know, that's still like 150 or 200 miles west of here. But this is the western part of the south entrance of Grand Canyon National Park. So I just passed the park entrance a couple of minutes ago, and I still have about a 30-minute or so drive to get to the trailhead. And I'm hoping it warms up because it's quite chilly right now. And I know it's going to warm up at the bottom of the canyon, but it's about 28 outside right now. So it should warm up, though. It should be another beautiful day here, and I'm very excited. So I'm just turning off and doing overlook just to kind of show you guys. Oh, there's still snow in the canyon. That's cool. Yeah, it's beautiful. So the road that we're on right now, it's called Hermit Road, and it leads to a place called Hermit's Rest, which is where the Hermit Trailhead is. So this road, it's closed to public cars from March to November or something like that, March to October. So today's the last day of February 29th actually, leap year. So this is the last day of the season that this road's open to the public. So that's kind of why I wanted to do this trailhead, to do this trail today, just because it's nice to have your own car, you know, parked right there at the trailhead, as opposed to having to rely on the shuttle buses, which the shuttle system here is pretty good actually, but it's still nice just to be able to have your own car there. So, so that's what we're doing. This is a really cool road to drive on because there's a lot of different overlooks, and oh, there's a mule. And there's another one. What's funny is there's mules everywhere here, like constantly, and all the tourists will stop, like they'll just stop in the middle of the road and they'll get out of the car and take a picture of the mule. It's so annoying. And like, I get it. Like, I did that the first time I was here too. But it's like, after you're here a couple of times, I mean, the mules are everywhere, so it's like not a big deal. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, what was I saying? I don't know. So my goals for today are to get to the bottom of the canyon, to get to the river, and to not lose my phone, which happened the last time I was here, because the stitching in my pack broke. And then I spent the rest of the day trying to find a needle in a haystack. My phone on the South Kaibab Trail somewhere. But yeah, so this is a cool road to drive on because there's, like, you know, different lookouts and different places you can drive off and kind of see different parts of the canyon. You know, this is a lot less crowded than places like Mather Point, you know, or even like Desert View, which is more east than here. So there's a shuttle bus that will drive this road, but it only operates, like I said, from March to, I forget when, October or November or something like that. So during the park's off season, it's open to cars. So you can just take your car and get views like that while you're driving. That's awesome. That never gets old. And trying to like look at the road and watch for mules, but also look at the canyon at the same time. But that's beautiful. And the rim trail actually runs kind of along. The rim trail is awesome. You can hop on it at, I think it starts actually at the South Kaibab Trailhead, and it runs all the way to Hermit's Rest. And it's actually 13.1 miles exactly. So you can, you know, park your car at the one side and take the shuttle back and you get a half marathon, or you can do the whole trail and, you know, do it like an out and back and you get a full marathon at the Grand Canyon Rim. So that's kind of cool, I think. So I've done that a few times, and it's nice because you can bring your dog. A lot of national parks are not dog friendly, but Grand Canyon is. You just can't bring your dog below the rim because they could die. But you can bring your dog on the rim trail. And so we've brought Sadie here a couple of times and she loves it. She's always so curious, like whenever we get to an overlook spot, or even like when I'm hiking with her and climbing mountains, she'll always look out at the views. It's kind of cool. She's my hiking and adventure buddy. But there's just all kinds of gorgeous views of the canyon on this road. So even if you don't hike into the canyon, you could spend a day easily just taking this road, you know, pulling out at places like this, you know, going to all the points, you know, like Maricopa Point, Hopi Point, what else is there? I don't know, all kinds of points. But look at that. It's beautiful. It's what we're venturing into today. So I'm gonna turn the camera off to try to save some battery, because I'd rather get footage of me actually in the canyon. So I will check back in when I'm at the trailhead. All right, so quick correction. I think the last video I called the elks mules, which is pretty funny actually. But I just wanted to correct that because I was thinking about it. I'm like, did I call them mules? I'm pretty sure I did. Those were elk that I saw on the road. You do see mules, but you know, if you go into the village, you kind of see where they have them stationed. And if you hike, especially on South Kaibab, there are mules that take that trail a lot. Not just to transport people, but also to transport mail and supplies to Phantom Ranch and to haul stuff out of Phantom Ranch, like trash and everything. Everything that's down there goes in and out by mule. So I don't know why I called the elks mules, but I just wanted to correct that while I was thinking about it. So we've made it to Hermit's Rest. You can see the cool little, I don't know, stone thing for it there. Little bell. Hermit Trail. Just down here, there's a little gift shop in there. Might hit that on the way back if it's still open. So we should be running here in a couple of minutes. It's already warmed up to 41. Once the sun hits, man, it warms up quickly out here. And you know, the further you descend into the canyon, you gain about 5 degrees of warmth per 1,000 feet of elevation drop, generally, as a rule of thumb. So should be nice. The forecast for the rim today is in the 60s, which means at the bottom of the canyon it'll probably be, you know, in the 80s. But it's like, it's one of those things where it's like awkward to dress for, because I hate running in the cold. So like I want to layer up now, and I only have so much room in my pack to take stuff off. But I think I'll be okay. I have leggings and shorts, and I have a tank top, a long sleeve, and a light jacket on right now. There's more cars here than I would have expected, but it's okay. I guess a lot of guys had the same idea that I did. I'm back into this spot here. I'm sure this is fascinating to watch. So let's see if, kind of want to show this on the map. My trusty old Grand Canyon map. Okay. So, we are at Hermit's Rest right there. So we're gonna head down here. We're gonna veer to the right, stay on the Hermit Trail. Looks like we're gonna pass a place called Breezy Point, Cathedral Stairs, and it's gonna wind around to Hermit Creek, which is a campground. And apparently they have bathrooms there, which is cool. Probably just pit toilets. And then from there, we're gonna go down to the rapids. And I think you can get to the river from there. If not, I know it's another mile or so, at least from what I was reading online. So we're basically just kind of following this down, and then we're gonna take the same thing back. Now you could loop it if you go like way the heck out this way, get on Tonto for a little bit, come up the Boucher Trail, and then get back onto Hermit, but that'd probably be like, I don't know, 30 or 40 miles. This is only about 20, just to do an out and back to the river and back, which they say not to do, but I'm not worried about it. They say not to do that for the corridor trails too, and it's really, I don't want to say it's not hard, but if you're in decent shape, you can do it. They just have to have those warnings out for like, you know, the idiots out there that think they can do more than they can. So anyway, that's what we're doing today. And yeah, I'm gonna get started here in a minute. So we're just getting started here, but canyon is already looking beautiful today. So a couple of quick impressions on this trail. First of all, it's kind of cool. I feel like I'm back at the canyon for the first time, you know, after having done the corridor trails quite a bit and running down them and everything. It's like, I don't really know what to expect with this. Over here, at least at the top, it's a lot more foresty than previous trails I've been on. Kind of reminds me of the North Rim a little bit, but it looks like we're gonna lose that the further down that we go. Another quick observation is, I mean, you can kind of tell that this trail isn't as maintained as Bright Angel or South Kaibab Trail. So I don't know how runnable it's gonna be. Like there's some parts like this that are dirt, but there's a lot of rocks and just kind of like awkward step offs. So I should be able to run a good bit, but there's a lot of stuff like this where you just gotta kind of watch your footing a little bit more than you normally would, as opposed to like the South Kaibab. But it's not necessarily a bad thing. I wasn't sure, like I don't even know if people run this trail, you know. People that run rim to rim, they just stay on the corridor. But I don't know, I might be getting myself into an adventure here, but that's what makes it fun, is exploring new things and seeing parts of the canyon that you haven't seen before. So yeah, so far so good. So I'm into the canyon a little bit now, and I'm honestly already starting to regret my choice of wardrobe, because it is warming up quickly. So these leggings I got on might be coming off at some point, and this long sleeve might be coming off as well, especially in the sun, like obviously, but in the shade it's pretty comfortable. But like as soon as I get out there, I'm gonna be feeling it, but it's okay. And I think this run is gonna turn into more of a power hike, because a lot of it just isn't very runnable, at least not yet. I was looking at the elevation map. There's the first intersection, Waldron Trail. We're gonna stay this way to stay on the Hermit Trail. But yeah, like I said, the elevation map, it seems like it's not quite as steep after about 2.5 miles. It does flatten out for a little bit, but then it looks like when you get to, I guess, what was it called? The cathedral stairs. It gets pretty steep again, so but I've just kind of been making my way down. And the other nice thing is there's nobody out here. Like, no people, no mules, no wildlife that I can hear. It's just completely silent. And that's awesome. You don't get that at South Kaibab Trail or Bright Angel Trail. So this is pretty great so far. This is amazing. You can really see the canyon start to drop off down in there. See where it opens up. I haven't spotted the river yet. I don't know if that's it, where that inner gorge is, but I'm still too high up to tell. But like, I don't know, this is just crazy. This is a completely different experience than anything you get on Bright Angel or South Kaibab. Even like the trail itself, I don't know why I'm whispering, there's nobody else out here. But this is a nice dirt trail now, but a lot of it, you're like kind of rock scrambling and bouldering, you know? And I've already hit some spots where it's like the trail isn't obvious, so you kind of have to have some route finding skills, you know, or a map. Like I have that paper map, and I also have that same map downloaded to my phone that I can use offline. But this is just awesome. And it's cool, like I'm used to flying down South Kaibab, you know, well, at least like for me, you know. I know there's guys that can do it faster, but with this, it's like, you can't really do that just because of how, see, like right there, how rocky it is. And it's like, if you fall here, you know, you're kind of screwed. So, but this is just amazing. And I've already come down a good bit. It is steep for sure. I mean, it's Grand Canyon, so most places are gonna be steep, but you can definitely feel it here. I think it's cool, like the borders of the trails are just like rocks they stacked. Like it's, I don't know, the way they built these trails, I don't know how the heck they did it, but it amazes me. You know, you'd think like all the manpower it takes to do something like this in a place as remote and unforgiving as Grand Canyon is, it's truly amazing. And I just love like the reds of the rock walls there against the greens and blues behind it. It's beautiful. It's awesome. So I just passed the first little rest area called Santa Maria Spring. Look at that. There was a cool little cabin looking building there. I was gonna stop and get some footage of, but there were actually people that were there having a little snack, so I didn't want to disturb them. But those are the first people that I've seen on this trail, which is crazy. And there's also a little path that leads out to that rock sticking out. That would be a good, you know, good place to relax. They say on the, you know, the little Grand Canyon information map that like, that's a good place for a day hike to turn around. You know, and I get why they have to say that, because a lot of people do overestimate their abilities, and in a place like this, you really can't do that. But I just think it's funny. I mean, I haven't even been hiking for 40 minutes. I still got a ways to go. I'm about 2.5 miles in. So, and I'm just trying to pace myself, conserve energy. Speaking of which, I should also conserve GoPro energy, because I only have this one battery. So I'm gonna do that. So the trail obviously goes that way. That's cool, you can see it zigzag. I'm assuming that's where it'll catch up to eventually. But there's a little, don't do that. There's a little spot up here I want to check out, because why not? We're here, so you might as well see all that you can, because you never know when you'll be here next. There's a little tree coming out. That's where I'm going. This trail's crazy. It's very different than all my other Grand Canyon experiences. This is sick. Whoa, I just heard something. Don't know what I heard. Little critter somewhere. Wow, I can hear the river, but I can't see it. In that gorge over there. That's crazy. This is crazy. Mind-blowing. So I'm just trying to spot the trail. You can see a dirt path there, and then way in the distance there's some switchbacks. I don't know if that's Hermit Trail or not, but I'm assuming it is, because I mean, what else is out here, really? That's so cool, you can hear the river. I don't know if the camera can, but I can. But you can't see it. You just know that it's there. Beautiful. What's even crazier is now I can't hear it. You can hear it when you step up here. But 10 feet that way and it's gone. You just hear the faint roar right now, echoing. Look at all that red. It's awesome. Still going strong. Almost 5 miles in. Time-wise, if I was on South Kaibab, I'd probably be to the river by now, as opposed to this trail where I'm only about halfway there. So that's a little weird. And I hope I didn't underestimate how long it takes to get to the river with this trail, because I really do want to see it, but we'll see. We're gonna keep on moving here. I mean, I am doing okay time-wise, I think. The nice part, I've been in the shade for most of this run, so the temperature is actually kind of perfect for running. It's like a little cool in the shade, but it feels good. Still haven't spotted the river. There's a bunch of little gorges down there, and I heard it at one point in that overlook I went to, but still haven't seen it. So yeah, this trail makes you work for it, that's for sure. At South Kaibab, you don't get your first sighting of the river until Skeleton Point, which is about 3 miles down the trail. And like I said, I'm 5 miles into it here, and still no river sighting. But we'll find it. Just got to keep on moving. So one of the coolest things I think about doing these canyon runs, especially once you get kind of deeper into the canyon, is some of the people you get to meet along the way that are kind of doing the same thing that you're doing. And so I just met a guy somewhere up there a little bit ago, and he was an older guy. He was sitting there resting, and you know, he was asking me how much further to the river. And, you know, I told him 4 miles or so. He's like, oh, I have to turn around. I'm too old. I will not make it. He was a foreign guy. I'm not sure where he was from. Some kind of a European accent. You know, so we're talking. I'm like, yeah, you know, it's good to know your limitations rather than be stranded. He was like, yeah, you're right. And we were kind of talking about the experiences we've had in the canyon before. You know, we've both gone rim to rim. We've both, you know, eaten at Phantom Ranch, that sort of thing. This is his first time doing the Hermit Trail as well. So we were kind of going back and forth with what we thought about it and how much harder it is than Bright Angel or South Kaibab, because it is a lot harder. I mean, you're literally just walking down loose rocks the whole time, seemingly. But anyway, so we're talking, and asked him where he's from. He said he's from LA. And then he asked me where I was from, and, you know, I just say a little bit north of Phoenix, you know. He's like, oh, okay, you live Arizona. I'm like, yeah, I live in Arizona. And then he's like, you know, my favorite part of Arizona is Prescott Valley. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. That's where I live. I'm like, and I usually just say north of Phoenix because no one's ever heard of Prescott Valley. But he said it was his favorite place in Arizona. So I thought that was kind of cool. You know, you meet a lot of cool people on adventures like this. But who would have thought I would have met a European dude living in LA whose favorite place in Arizona is Prescott Valley, the small little town which I happen to live. Crazy. Okay, just look at how cool that like rock spire formation is, for lack of a better term. And then just how the canyon's carved out in between that opening there. That's sick. I've never seen a view of the canyon like that before. It's amazing how many times you can come here, and you can spend a literal lifetime exploring this place, you know, but there's always new stuff to see, always. And that right there is just kind of blowing my mind at the moment. It's insane. I guess I'm gonna follow that. But that is so cool. A place like this can make you feel really small. and very humbling. Just gonna film this for a little bit because I talked about it earlier. I just checked my map, and apparently this is these are the cathedral stairs that I've been going down. Just literal loose rock. My voice is kind of echoey. Whoa. That wouldn't have been good. So yeah, I am going down the cathedral stairs, which means I should be pretty close to the Hermit Creek campground, I think. Still no sight of the river, but this is kind of cool. And there's that crazy, like, I don't know if you can tell, there's a rock spire up there that, like, it kind of looks like a person. And I was trying to see on my map if there was a name for it, and there wasn't. But there's some cool places here like that. Like there's a spot at Grand Canyon West called Eagle Rock, and it's insane. It literally looks like an eagle carved into the rock. Like, it's amazing how lifelike it looks. Almost like it was designed that way. That is sick. See that? There's like the head and the shoulders. That rock looking dude. It's one of the Nephilim up there from ancient days. It must be. This is cool. That old guy's still cracking me up. I think his name was Jared. I think that's what he said his name was. Nice guy. Favorite place in Arizona. Prescott Valley. He said that 30 or 40 years ago, someone had given him advice to buy property there, and then 30 or 40 years from now he could be a rich man. And he said he didn't do it, and he wished that he did, because that town has just exploded in the last 10, 20 years from what I understand. I mean, the population's grown from like 2,000 or 3,000 to now I think we're at 65,000 or something. So that would have been a good place to pick up some land for dirt cheap back in the day, but unfortunately not that way anymore. It's a nice place to live though. It's very affordable. And you're close to a lot of really beautiful places. Prescott and Prescott Valley themselves are pretty awesome places to explore. But, you're at most a 2-hour drive from pretty much anywhere you want to be as far as different landscapes go. So it's a perfect place to live, to do little day trips like this on the weekends, which is what I usually end up doing. And going exploring new places, finding new trails to run. So anyway, I think I'm gonna put the camera away until I'm at the Hermit Creek campground. This just never ends, does it? It really doesn't feel like I've gone that far down, but I have. It's just like you can't see all the way out of the canyon because of all the layers. Like, I'm a couple thousand feet down. I'm probably more than halfway, if I had to guess, just by looking at it. But I still can't see the river. It's weird. But we'll get there. Just got to keep moving. And we'll get there. So we have our first sign of anything, really, in a long time. Little signpost here. So we got Hermit Creek to the left, Monument Creek to the right. We're going to the left, but this will, to the right, will lead to a place called Hermit Rapids. And we're going to the left because we're going to Hermit Rapids. That's the plan. And I just saw another guy coming up. He made it all the way to the bottom, so if he can do it, I can do it too. He was moving though. He was at a good pace, and he was just in shorts and a tank, and he didn't even have a pack on. He was from well, he had on an Aerobipa running shirt, which is a running group down in Phoenix. So I don't know if he's like, you know, one of the team members or if he just runs with them. But he looked good. And we're just keeping on moving here. It's starting to get a little bit greener, and I'm starting to see some critters like desert iguanas, and I saw an all black one, which I don't think I'd seen before, at least not a desert iguana. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, ever since the cathedral stairs, the views have just opened up a lot, and it's kind of mind-blowing to be down here, you know, pretty much by yourself. It's very cool. We have a water sighting 8 miles in, and I think that's just Hermit Creek, which will flow into the river at some point. But this part of the trail is awesome. And I just ran into 2 more hikers that camped down here. Oh man, is that pretty. Oh dude, there's a little waterfall up there. Oh my gosh. That's awesome. That's so pretty. Dude, that water looks like it is crystal clear. Wow. I'm kind of speechless right now. And I just saw a sign for Hermit Rapids. So I don't know if this is it or not, or if it's just, if that flows into the rapids. It probably just flows into the rapids. It's not very rapidy, but it's very, very creaky. So I'm guessing this is the start of Hermit Creek from that little waterfall back there, which I'm about to get a lot of pictures of. And man, look at how beautiful this is. This is awesome. So it goes from there into here, through all these little cairns. Look at how green it is down there. Oh my gosh. This is sick. I'm gonna try to not waste my battery now that I'm kind of down here, but this is just so pretty. There was that waterfall up top that I saw, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 little mini ones I can see. That's the biggest one. I mean, it's not a big waterfall, but it's still something. And there's a little pool down there. Gosh, this is awesome. I'm kind of going underneath this massive rock now, so that's cool. This is sick. I should be pretty close to the campground, which means I'm close to the river. I mean, the creek's right there, so the river can't be too far. And I'm doing good on time, so we're gonna make it. Dang. Just looking up at the canyon walls and then down to where I am now. It's so pretty. It's amazing. So I just checked the map on my phone, and it looks like I'm pretty much following the creek all the way to the river at this point. So this is cool. This is what North Kaibab Trail is like as far as following Bright Angel Creek. So I've really been conserving water. I haven't had much at all yet, but at least now I have all this that I can drink through my filter if I need to. That's gorgeous. So I'm probably gonna be resisting the urge to film all this because my GoPro battery is already at like 35%. So I'm just gonna keep on moving till we get to the river. But man, is this pretty. Look at all that crazy erosion. That's a pet peeve of mine. People rock stacking. You're supposed to leave no trace. But I'll let it slide this time. That's so pretty. All right, I gotta get some pictures and keep moving. This is awesome. So we're making our way down the creek here. The trail's not really that defined. Like it is in spots, but a lot of it you're just kind of, you know, bushwhacking and going through rocks. And the rock stacks actually serve as pretty good trail guides. So I take back what I said earlier about that being a pet peeve of mine, because they're serving as kind of my guide right now. I mean, obviously you just follow the creek, but I mean, it's pretty wildernessy out here. So it's nice to have some confirmation that you're going the right way. That's awesome. Look at those canyon walls. It's like a place this desolate and remote is now brimming with water and life after, you know, almost 9 miles of just nothing. It's amazing. So I don't know if there's like a defined way. I'm just kind of making my way down the creek and hoping that I'm right, but I know this will eventually lead to the Colorado. Look at all that grass. It's beautiful. Man. I feel like you're adventuring into some like secret hidden realm being here. I don't know if you can see on the camera, but there's a lot of like really cool shiny looking things on these rocks. My buddy at work, Warren, would be able to tell me all about that. I'm not sure what they are, but he's all about rock gathering. In fact, that's what he's doing today. How pretty that is. Man. Incredible. That's dope. So I should be almost there. I think like a couple tenths of a mile. This trail isn't really a trail so much as it is You just kind of make your own path. And my feet have stayed dry up until this point, and I'd like to keep it that way, but I'm not seeing an obvious spot to cross right there, and there's nothing up here. Unless we go up this way. Well, this is something. I guess I missed that. It's kind of cool. Just feel like you're kind of making your own way through the Grand Canyon. I hope that going back won't be too tough. I mean, all you're doing is following the creek, so even if you take a different path, you know, you still should reach the same destination in the end. But this is so pretty. This is like I don't know, man. I don't know how to describe this. It's like I'm all alone down here. There's no one else here. I'm staring up at like thousands of feet of rock all around me. The sky's blue, the sun's poking out, and I have this gorgeous creek that just sounds beautiful and it looks beautiful, and I'm just following it, not really knowing where I'm going. I just know that the Colorado River's that way. Like, do I cross here? Do I go that way? Do I don't know, you just go wherever you want. Look at that little pool of water. This is quite the experience, I gotta say. This is amazing. Like, I don't even think I could run this if I wanted to, just because of how undefined the path is and all the creek crossings you gotta do. But man, like, look back at that, it's crazy. I think there might have been a trail over there that I missed. But that's okay, I'll catch up to it eventually. Just follow the creek. See, it's not much of a trail, but it's got to be the way. There's a little dirt path. There's a little iguana. Yeah, so now we're back on somewhat of a trail. But it's just crazy down here, man. Like, this is mind-blowing. All those rock layers, and I mean, I feel like I'm being repetitive, but I just hope the camera does it justice, because in person it is mind-blowing. And I've been to the canyon dozens of times. I've been to the bottom of the canyon on the corridor, what, 4 times? This is something different, man. This is a completely unique Grand Canyon experience. And I'm hearing a thundering roar up ahead, so I can assume that's the those are the Hermit Rapids, which means the Colorado should be pretty close. I'm at 9.6, so they said it was 9.7 miles. Hope you can hear that. It's probably that way, but this is higher ground, so I'm just gonna see if I can see something. We're gonna get into some sand here. And there it is. There's the Colorado. It's sick. Dude, that's awesome. That's what we came here to see. This is crazy. It is weird, like when you get to this point on the corridor, you see a lot of people. you know, because there's Boat Beach, which is like a pretty popular place for rafters to dock and hang out. And then there's Phantom Ranch, which is like a really cool spot. You know, there's Bright Angel Campground, there's the cabins at Phantom Ranch. There's a lot of people there when you get to the river on the corridor trails, but here I am the only one here, and I am just bushwhacking through. I don't even know if there's a trail that leads there. I mean, you would think there would be. It'd be stupid to come this far and not get a closer view of it. Maybe that's it. Maybe that was it from where I was. That doesn't seem right though. This has to lead somewhere. And if not, I'm gonna make my own path as I get flung in the face by this. It's right there. Here we go. Wow. That could be very easy to get lost in on the way back, so I'm gonna be very careful to trace my steps. I would like to get a close-up, and I feel like if I just follow these boulders and come back to this point, I feel like I'll be able to find my way back. I hope. That's crazy how fast it's moving. You go there, like when you cross the Black Bridge, the suspension bridge at the bottom of South Kaibab, it looks like it's like calm and peaceful, and the water has like a greenish color to it. This is like murky and fast. Those rapids are just, man, I wasn't expecting them to be that intense. I really wasn't. I'm gonna try to make my way across these boulders because I can see there's a little beach down there, and I'm gonna put the camera away for that. So hopefully I'll check in more actually at the foot of the river. Made it. Made it to the river. Wow. Wow, dude, that's crazy. I've never seen anything like this. You can see behind it, it has that greenish color. And then as soon as it hits these rapids, it turns all muddy and murky. And then, I don't know if you can see in the camera, but downstream, it gets calm again. But it's like right here, it's crazy. That's insane. Ooh, that got splashed. Felt kind of good, actually. That's like the most violent rapids I've ever seen up close like this. I can't believe people kayak down here. I don't know if they kayak, but raft. I don't know, they do something. I don't know. I wouldn't want to. I mean, there it looks nice, but then you hit this spot, and that's like, that's deadly. This is crazy. It's a cool looking rock. Look at that. Well, I'm
gonna stop and eat a little bit, and then I'll start making my way out of the canyon. My GoPro only has like 20% battery left, so I'm probably not gonna do too much filming on the way out. And it's about 12:30. I wanted to be here by 12, so I'm a little behind schedule, but it's okay. I should still make it out of the canyon before dark. And if not, I have a headlamp, so I'll be fine. But this is awesome. Oh, there's people over there. So anyway, I'm gonna eat. I'll get some pictures, and then I'll start making my way out. I'll probably film a little bit on the way out, but probably not too much, because I do need to move. But yeah, this has been an incredible hike slash run down to the Hermit Rapids here at the Colorado River at the bottom of the Grand Canyon. My favorite place on earth. I hope you enjoyed it. So this is Hermit Creek, which I probably got off track a little bit when I was going through all those boulders and whatnot, but this is where it actually hits the rapids, so this is kind of cool. Also, there's a couple of people that were down here camping. Well, they weren't camping, they camped last night and they're camping tonight, but they're just down here exploring, so I was talking to them for a little bit. Here's the confluence, if you want to call it that. Just look at the contrast of like the clearness of the creek and the murkiness of the Colorado. It's awesome. It's absolutely awesome. Yeah, I haven't even eaten yet. I've just been taking pictures, and I was talking to those people for a little bit. You meet a lot of cool people doing these kinds of adventures, so it makes it more fun, I guess. Meet people as crazy as you are that do this sort of thing. Mind-blowing. Okay, so now I actually am gonna eat and get more pictures, because you can never have enough. And then I'm actually gonna start heading back. I made it down here in about 3 hours, which probably means I have 5 or 6 to get out. So I might be pushing it to get out of here by the time the sun sets, but I'll be okay. I have a headlamp if not, and you know, worst case, I'll get to see a beautiful sunset on the way out. So I'm loving this right now. This is beautiful down here. So yeah, signing off again. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll probably check in on the way out. But like I said, my GoPro is a little bit short on life at the moment, so probably won't do as much filming, but I got a lot of good footage on the way down. So yeah, signing off for real. Making our way back. I have no idea if this is the same way that I came, but just following the creek. And also, it got hot. So I'll probably be going like this the rest of the way. At least until I start climbing. And then the temperature will dip again. But we are officially on our way back. So that's the bathroom for the campground. I did not see that on the way down. And I was coming up out of the creek and I missed a turn. Luckily I had that map downloaded on my phone and I was able to retrace my steps. But back on trail now. Just don't know what I did on the way down. There's no way I would have missed.
So, back in the car, made it out of the canyon alive and with a phone, and we made it to the river. So we accomplished all of our goals for the day. My GoPro died shortly after when I was hiking out, once I, got to the river and was hiking out of the creek. I think I tried to take a video down there and it died. So, obviously didn't take any video on the hike out, but I got a lot on the way in, and I got a lot of the rapids, which is what I wanted to see. So I let my GoPro charge for a little bit, and I just wanted to give kind of a closing video to this adventure we had today. So, I mean, that hike was awesome. It was really awesome. Hardly any people, especially when you compare it to, South Kaibab and especially Bright Angel. I think I saw not even 10 people. And a lot of those were when I was hiking out the last mile or two, from people that just hike down a little bit and head back to their car. When I was in the canyon, I hardly saw anybody. I think I might have seen 5 people, and everyone, just super cool to talk to, super friendly. There was one girl that I passed on the way out, and she was actually, she's living in Flag now, but she's from Philly originally, so that's kind of cool. But she asked me if I saw a hat on the ground, and I did see it, and I was gonna pick it up, and I didn't. And I guess she dropped her hat, and I felt bad because I should have picked it up. Especially considering, I lost my phone the last time I was in Grand Canyon, and I wish someone would have picked it up if they would have seen it. But so if that girl happens to be watching this video, I'm sorry for not picking up your hat. But hey, the Grand Canyon, it's unforgiving. So I learned that last time I was there, and I mean, she's done a lot of hikes through the canyon, so she was actually giving me kind of some advice on some of the other cool trails to hit that aren't as well known. So yeah, it was a great day. I made it down to the river in about 3 hours, and I made it out in about 5 hours. I thought it would take longer, but one of the cool things about the Hermit Trail is, like, it's really steep in some parts, like really steep, and then it kind of flattens out in a lot of other parts. So I was able to run a couple of miles on the way out, which you don't get that if you're doing South Kaibab or Bright Angel. It's pretty much you're climbing the entire way. I swear, these people, this is what they do. Pulling over to the side of the road because there's an elk right there. Freaking tourists, man. But yeah, if you can run out of South Kaibab or Bright Angel, that's insane. I can't do that. I'm power hiking the whole way. But coming out of Hermit, I was able to run a good bit, just because of how the trail is. Like I said, it's steep and then it's flat, and steep and then it's flat. Going up the cathedral stairs was brutal. That was probably the hardest part. That or the last 2 miles, because those are the steepest parts. And the last mile especially, it's like you're so close to the end, and it's like one of the steepest parts of the trail. My moving time, according to my watch, was under 6 hours. I think it was 5 hours, 55 minutes, which that kind of surprised me. My overall time was around 8, like I said. I did stop when I was at the river and, ate and took some pictures, so that probably took about a half an hour. I actually missed a turn on the way out, which was kind of scary, because I was following the creek, and I was looking for the turnoff to get back onto the Hermit Trail, and it's not really that well marked. I mean, the trail isn't maintained like the corridor trails are. So I kept following the creek, and I was looking to see where the turnoff was, and I missed it. So I kept going about, I don't know, a quarter mile or so past it, and I thought that it looked unfamiliar, so I pulled out the map on my phone, which I'm so glad I downloaded that. It was through the Avenza app, and I was able to download the same map that I have on paper, but just on my phone. But with that, you can use GPS even when you're in airplane mode to track your location exactly. And I'm so thankful I had that, because if I didn't, I very easily could have got lost down there. So if you're ever hiking in the Grand Canyon, it's great to have a paper map, but get the map on Avenza. You pay for the same map twice. It's literally the same map. I think it was $12 or $13. So you're paying that twice, but it's worth it to have it on your phone for sure. because that really helped me. Because I missed the turnoff to get back onto Hermit, and then I kept going up the creek, and then eventually I wasn't on a trail at all. I was just following the creek, and so then I turned around, and there was a turnoff that I saw, and I got onto that, but that was for the Tonto Trail, that's a trail that follows, I'm not sure how long, but it follows basically the river for a long time. So I was on Tonto for a little bit, and then I pulled out my phone and I opened up the map on Avenza, and I kind of figured out where I was and where I needed to go. But the weird thing was, I think I mentioned on one of my videos that I didn't see the camping site and the bathroom on the way down. I came down a different way than I came out. So I think I also got on video, there was a sign, like there was an intersection on the road, and there was a sign pointing to the right for Hermit Rapids, and there wasn't anything straight. So I just figured if you went straight, it was some kind of an overlook or something like that, and right was the trail. Well, it turns out if you go straight there, that's where the campground is, and that's where the bathrooms are. But there wasn't a sign for it. So when I was coming down, I followed to the right for Hermit Rapids, because that's where I was going, and I came back through the campground. So when I was coming out of the creek, it was kind of freaky because nothing looked familiar, you know, and then I was off trail and I was on the wrong trail, but I eventually was able to figure out, you know, where I was thanks to the app I got on my phone, which was huge. So I guess all in all, you know, I lost some time there too, and I took a couple of breaks on the way out. So about 8 hours total time and a little under 6 hours moving time. So not too bad. Now, I will say, if you're gonna do this trail, like it can be done as a day hike. Like obviously I just did it. Make sure you're in good shape. Make sure you've hiked out of the canyon before, and that you kind of know what you're getting yourself into. It's no joke. You have to respect it. But the thing is, like, there's not really a payoff on I don't want to say that. The whole trail is beautiful. The Grand Canyon itself kind of is a payoff, but like the big payoff for this trail is definitely the rapids. Like, I couldn't imagine doing this trail and even getting to the creek and then turning around. It just wouldn't be nearly as worth it, in my opinion. So if you're gonna do this trail, do it all the way for sure. See the rapids, you know, or if you can get a permit, you can camp down there. But I probably wouldn't recommend this trail if you're not gonna go all the way, like if you are just doing a day hike, because when you do Bright Angel or South Kaibab, you know, there's kind of little spots along the way that are good destination points. You know, like South Kaibab has a Uwa Point, and then it has Cedar Ridge, and then it has Skeleton Point, and then it has the tip off. You know, Bright Angel has 1.5 and 3 mile rest house. It has Indian Garden. So like there's all these lookouts that you can stop at along those trails and turn around to make a nice day hike. There's nothing like that on this trail. There's literally nothing until you get to the campground. And at that point, you're like 7.5, 8 miles in. So at that point, you're another mile or so to the creek, and then you're another mile and a half to the river. So if you're gonna do it, go to the river. Let's see if you can see the sunset. That's pretty. But if you're gonna do that, just make sure you can handle it, because hiking out of the canyon is no joke. I'd recommend at least doing a rim to river hike first on the corridor, and then tackling Hermit. It was harder to get out. Like, it's a long trail, and the steep parts are really steep. So just make sure you're experienced in the canyon, and you'll be all right. So I think that was pretty much all I wanted to say about that trail. I loved it. You want to talk about solitude, man. You hardly see any people. It's dead quiet, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful trail. Not a whole lot of shade, so I also wouldn't. Oh, that's another thing I wanted to say. And actually, I'm going to cut this video off because I think my GoPro will shut off when I'm at 10 minutes. So I'm going to stop this and start a new video. All right, I'm back. So I wouldn't do this trail in the summer, just because there's not really any shade. It's a lot like South Kaibab in that sense. You know, Bright Angel has a lot of shade, but, you know, Hermit, not a lot of shade. The other thing is, it's really nice to be able to park your car at the trailhead. And that road, like I said before, is closed from the beginning of March to, I forget what, I think it's either October or November. So at that point, the last shuttle picks you up, I think at like 8:26 or some weird time like that. So I think, like, if I was having to worry about making it out in time to catch the last shuttle, that's just added stress that you don't need. So I'd recommend waiting for the off season, not only because of, you know, it being cooler and there's not a lot of shade, but also it's really nice to be able to park your car right at the trailhead and not having to worry about catch a shuttle to take you back. Because if you miss the shuttle, you're walking 9 miles to where Grand Canyon Village is. I think 9 miles. It's a good bit, you know, at least 7, 8, maybe 9 miles, something like that. And that would not be fun. You know, especially after climbing out of the canyon some 6,000 feet. I think my my watch said that the elevation gain and loss was about 5650 or something like that. So over a mile, and about 10 miles to the river and 10 miles out. So that was a fun day. It was a very fun day. But if you're gonna do it, make sure you can do it. You know, don't overexert yourself or don't overestimate what you can do. I would recommend having canyon experience on the corridor trails. For another reason being because those are a lot more maintained. So the park rangers will monitor those trails. So if you're in trouble, you know, if you need food or water, or, you know, if you just have yourself in a bad situation, you wait around for a little bit, a park ranger is going to pass you and they'll help you out. There's nothing like that on Hermit. You're pretty much on your own. So that's why I would recommend just having some canyon experience and, you know, just go in confident. If you think you can do it, then do it and go all the way to the river and hang out at the rapids. Those rapids were sick. That was definitely worth it to see. So I think that's about it as far as what I wanted to say about that trail. As far as me, I have my Antelope Canyon 50-mile race in 2 weeks. I think 2 weeks. 2 weeks from the day, right now, I'll be hopefully finishing my 50-mile race at Antelope Canyon. So as far as Grand Canyon, I want to do a double cross, you know, a rim to rim to rim, also known as a double cross. Probably sometime in April, I'm thinking. And I feel pretty good about doing that, to be honest with you. I feel fine right now. Like, even my legs, I'm not trying to brag, they're really not that sore. So I'm just picturing, like, if I was doing a double cross, I'd kind of be at the same mileage to go south rim to north rim. And, you know, at that point, the descent, you know, I mean, it's hard, but I'm a good descender. I'm not a good climber. But I feel like if I got to the north rim feeling how I do now, I'd have no problem descending back down into the canyon. It'd just be that final climb, you know, out of the south rim that would be really hard. But I mean, I'm fairly confident I can push through it. So I'm gonna get through the Antelope Canyon 50, and then I think my next big, not race, but big adventure, we'll be doing a rim to rim to rim here at Grand Canyon. So I'll have to get some more GoPro batteries for that. I think my GoPro died when I had like 3 more sentences to say. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys enjoyed kind of exploring a different part of the canyon that is less seldom seen than, you know, the more popular parts. And if you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe. For more content like this, let me know what areas you want to see, and I will do my best to go and explore them and document it. That's what I like doing. So, thanks for watching. Take care.